a Monday night. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a fun Monday night show here on Anime-Zing Radio on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me with the co-host spot, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello, people.
And happy Throw Your Helmets in the Dirty Dishes Day.
Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Saying good night to the kiddo. Hello to Ross and John. Great to see you guys in the chat. Thank you to all of the awesome people out there who are tuning in tonight.
Oh, wow. Did not know that.
Ross loves Mayo Day.
Well, about to say, I took delivery of mayonnaise today, so I had to have it in the store, so that's what I ordered.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your sandwiches would be a little on the dry side. Just a little.
John Knight says today is Revenge of the 5th. And yesterday was May the 4th be with you.
Mm-hmm. And then May 1st was what? May Day?
I think so. I know November 11th is Pocky Day.
Ah.
Because it's like 4 Pocky sticks. 1-1-1-1.
Yep, I can see that. I saw somewhere about we're going to have multiple palindrome dates this month.
Well, today is a multiplication day.
0505, yeah, 25. That's funny.
I heard that earlier. It's like happy 5/5/25. I'm like 5 times 5 is 25.
That's crazy.
Angela might join us later on if we'll probably still be going at 9:30ish. So she's in the middle of something right now, but said that she may be able to join us about 9 o'clock-ish. So that'll be fun. Get everybody back together. No real topics or anything to talk about. I know yesterday we didn't have a show. We do apologize. I was stuck at work. Angela didn't get home till late and was exhausted. So therefore,
and
that's
Darren
why there was Darren was dead. He was asleep until like 10:30. So he never saw any of the messages anyway. Because he's had his weeks from hell starting up already.
Yep. Yep. Work has become just that. Not so much my job, but you know the story there.
Yep. And John Knight's birthday coming up in 22 days. Happy early birthday. Excited for that.
Okay, so that'll be the Tuesday I come back from vacation.
Yeah.
Because I've mentioned this multiple times, but I'm getting excited because Angela is coming down for Anime-Zing here in the next couple weeks. So Anime-Zing falls on, I believe it's the 23rd, 24th, and 25th this year, and my vacation got approved.
Yay!
And on a different note, I may have some time to go up north later on, because when they did our vacations this year, because of us being closed, they're giving us a little leeway on when we have to take them. So there's a possibility I could be going to them later in the year.
And that will be a lot of fun. Like I said, if when we find out if slash when we get approved as a guest for Pop Cult, it potentially could be the first time in AZR history that every host will be in the same location at the same time.
And if we're guests, then even better.
Exactly. And I would definitely be planning to do live streams and a show from the convention itself. Um, Lots of stuff that will have to be in the works once we have everything set in stone. So um, definitely we'll keep everybody up to date on that. One thing that I'd like to chat about, I know Darren hasn't really had the chance to catch up on shows for spring anime right now. And Ross in the chat says this news for Doug regarding if he ever watched any of the films. A new entry into the Karate Kid legacy called Karate Kid Legends will premiere on the 30th of this month. And yes, Jackie Chan and the guy who played Daniel will reprise their roles as mentors to a new Karate Kid. Oh, wax on, wax off.
That was one series I never watched.
I saw the original movie and that was it.
The only thing I really ever saw with Jackie Chan even in it was the animated Jackie Chan Adventures, because that was on TV when I was growing up.
I remember Jackie Chan Adventures. Jackie Chan, he had the daughter there, and
yep, and then the old man, and then
yeah,
yep.
But switching gears here a little bit, considering the fact that I have started finally reading my first light novel. Darren and Edge can be proud of me. I'm reading a light novel, not just a manga.
Wow.
Of course, it's How a Realist Hero Rebuilt a Kingdom. I'm about 70 something pages in.
Of volume 1, I'm sure.
Of volume 1, yeah.
But how many volumes are there? Like 6, 7?
14 or 15.
Okay, that's about average for a light novel series.
I think it's still ongoing too. I just bought volume 4 today at Barnes and Noble.
Ah,
and they're thick. They're good sized books.
Well, DxD was probably 150 pages, 120. I don't remember. Actually, let me go pull out volume 1 and take a look. Hold on.
All right. When you come back, I'm going to go and grab one of the volumes I have on the shelf behind me. And we can look and see. And I was curious because for all of the viewers out there, any of the viewers, listeners, if you are into the manga and light novels as well as the anime, what are some of your favorite light novels that you've read or favorite manga that you've read? And how does it compare when you watch the shows? Because I'm finding it very interesting. In just the first 75 pages of Realist Hero, I've noticed 5 or 6 subtle differences from the light novel to the anime. And it's nothing huge, slight wording differences. I can see where they made some changes to make the anime a little bit more engaging than what you were reading in the light novel. So I'm curious as to how you guys out there in the world of chat has been enjoying mangas compared to their anime counterparts and vice versa. Because I'm one of those people that watch the anime first and then I'll go and read the manga to get the story beyond where the anime is. I did that with Freerin. I'm working on Apothecary Diaries now, and I've been started up on Realist Hero.
You do know that that's what anime wants you to do, right? That's the whole purpose many anime exists, to promote the source material.
Oh, I know.
But on that note,
I just started working on me. Give me just a minute. I will go and grab a copy too, so we can compare pages, amounts for the books and stuff.
Yep, I am struggling to find mine actually. Chat. I need ideas. Where the heck did I put them?
All right, I am back. Like I said, this is what the light novel looks like. And
Are they down here?
you can see how thick that book is. That book is dummy thick, as some people would like to say.
Let me see that again, Doug. I had my head buried in my closet.
That's the size of the book.
Oh wow, that's actually quite impressive.
And 368 pages.
Dang.
And this is volume 2.
Wow, there's not multiple volumes smashed together in there, is there?
No, this is light novel volume 2. I have volume 3 and 4 on the shelf behind me. So I have the first 5 volumes. All 4 of them are about the same size.
Okay. And like I said, I do apologize. I am trying to figure out where the heck I put my stuff because I know I have it. I just don't remember where.
And then you get a provocative picture like this.
How's about that was going to be my next thing. So, in your opinion, what is superior in detail? The anime, the manga, or these light novel illustrations?
Yeah, that's probably better if I can just shut the background off for a minute. Obviously, I loved the anime so much that I went and started getting the light novels. And I've noticed in like the first 75 pages of volume 1, I think I've seen about 5 subtle differences. Some of it with wording, some of it with seeing how it'd be difficult to put what you imagine from the paper and put it on screen. So they had to do some subtle changes, which is very common when you're going source material to an anime. That being said, everything that I saw in the anime is staying true to the order that it was for the first 75 pages. And 75 pages, I think I'm in episode 3 or episode 4. I gotta go back and look. Oh, nope. I'm sorry. Episode 2. Episode 2 into episode 3. So, like 80 pages in, it's averaging about 40 pages per episode.
Okay. Well, that sounds about right. Honestly. Let's see, that's my notebook.
I wanted to kind of look into volume 2 to get an idea of where the story was.
Did I put them in here? Nope.
And I want to say... maybe volume 2 picks up around episode 6 off of a brief look, but I'm not 100% sure.
That sounds about right because DxD each season covered 2 volumes.
Now, have you switching gears to the anime side of things? Have you watched anything this season yet, or
No,
has it all been?
I haven't watched anything. I've seen little clips here and there, but that's it.
Ross in the chat says spicy news for Darren. America is going to be releasing the Kawawa on Monday, English manga. And Ross also says the only 5 anime mangas he has is Dance in the Vampire Bund, Ah My Goddess, Tales of Wedding Rings, Plus Size Elf, and Clockwork Planet. Most of sources say the same on both, but on Vampire Bund. And Plus Size Elf, some things were changed. Some things were changed, or chapters out, but mostly stayed with the source. And John Knight says that he is reading My Hero Academia reading the manga for MHA season 7.
I keep forgetting that show has that many seasons.
Yeah, we both dropped it like season 4.
Yep. And part of me was surprised I stayed that long, but it is what it is.
But looking at shows that have been airing this season, I started watching that Zatsubu Tabi, That's Journey show. That one has it kind of has a similar feel to like Kino's Journey and Wandering Witch. But it focuses a lot on like different areas in Japan and their history. So I've really been enjoying it. It got off to a nice, strong start. Was really good. So probably going to continue with that. The Unaware Meister, that has been your typical isekai. Overpowered, doesn't realize he's overpowered. I don't even think it's fully an isekai, but it just has that feel where a kid's like, oh, I'm nothing special, and then he goes and does something and it erases a curse on a princess. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's an entertaining story. I don't think it's going to be anything that's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Found it. All right. So is this the manga or is this the? Of course, I bent them. Damn it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So that's the manga right there. The manga was. Do they even have page numbers on these? Oh, they do. Okay, so the manga is like 160-ish pages.
Okay.
The light novel is 167.
All right. So Realist Hero has more pages than.
Until I can get on my tablet, I cannot. I cannot.
On the camera.
Yeah, my phone has it blocked for whatever reason. I probably didn't allow my internet settings to,
Yeah. Other shows that I have been watching, of course, Killing Science for 300 Years. It's just been more of the same from season 1. It's an enjoyable watch, but I so far I don't feel like season 2 has been as good as season 1. which is not uncommon. Apothecary Diary Season 2, Part 2, on the other hand, has been fantastic. If Angela is able to make it on later, we can talk about that. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? That one screams Garen.
Yes, it is. Also Takamine.
And I am up to date on that one, on Can a Boy-Girl Friendship Survive, and it has been really good.
Good. I saw one of the charts for one of the shows. Accept cookies. Allow my. Did I do that right? Hold on. StreamYard has completely changed their.
They've done a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I see that because I'm trying to put in the thing and it's not wanting to work. I had the same problem on my phone. Okay, let's try it this way. There we go. All right, so give me a sec.
Yep.
Even though I close them out, it still does that awful background noise. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I was able to swap things out over here, so.
All right, so now that I got my screen uppity, so this right here is volume 1 of DXD. Sorry. So it's not that terribly thick.
Yeah, that looks about the same size as a manga.
Yep. And as I was saying, 165. Yeah. But just to give the readers a little spice, first one in the.
Yeah, that's why when people say, "Isn't anime for kids?" I tell them, watch High School DxD. Just the first episode. You'll agree it's not.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean,
Ross
like
in the chat says, "Nice blue hair plushie, Darren."
Oh, it ain't blue. It's actually meant to be purple. Any guesses as to who it is, Rosh? You probably know her. And you also probably know her.
Yeah.
So, not quite blue, Ross. She's actually purple. So, what purple-haired characters do you know? And also, these guys are kind of just chilling at the top here. Groudon's got that little tag in his face, though. Yes, Ross. Hotaru.
So he got it. That's why I say we've got some of the greatest fans that tune in, and they know their stuff when it comes to anime.
Yep. Found them. They were. You would put some socks on top of them.
But other shows that I've been watching include Catcher in the Ballpark, which it's just a bunch of random stuff thrown together involving life at a baseball stadium.
I was about to say, because I know that was one that all of us were at least interested in, considering y'all follow baseball a little bit more than I do.
And it's kind of neat because, like, one of the main characters, but not like the main character, is the blonde-haired vendor girl. But then you see the salaryman who goes there, but he's not in like every episode, or not like it feels like every episode is broken into 2 or 3 sub stories or sub episodes.
And it's one of those 8-minute animes, right?
No, it's a full like 23 minute anime, but you get like everything's broken up into like 6-minute chunks.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen an anime like that in a while.
And like from watching that show, as far as I have, you've been introduced to one player's wife, another player's girlfriend. You've got the salaryman. You've got a girl who works as a beer vendor that walks, throughout the stadium trying to sell beer. They have another girl that works as a vendor. You've seen families. You've seen ruffians. You've seen the old wily baseball veterans who have been lifelong fans, elderly fans and stuff like that. So it gives you a nice little. I would definitely call it a nice slice of life, and it's been very entertaining thus far.
Has it shown any like history of baseball? Because I know animes like that tend to have like actual factual bits here and there.
It doesn't give you like history of baseball, but they do talk about, oh, this player has this batting average or is this subcode, and that code tells you, okay, well, they have a good on base percentage or they're hitting great in these situations, different things like that. And they do explain that a little bit, which some of it I think is newer than when I've really followed baseball, because I haven't been able to follow baseball in quite a few years. So some of the metrics, I'm like, I've never heard of this before, but it's kind of neat that they're throwing that out there. Or that metric could also be, native to Japan as opposed to American baseball metrics.
Well, technically, isn't that like one of the few sports that we actually hold as the creator of, if I'm not mistaken?
I think baseball was originally started in the U.S. I know basketball was started in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball was actually started in Massachusetts.
And of course, we all know football was started in Europe, and American football was started here in America.
Yeah. So you have football, and then you have football.
Mm-hmm.
Which in the U.S. we call that soccer.
Mm-hmm.
For those keeping track. So you have American football, and then you have world football, aka soccer. Ross in the chat says that he is watching The Two Perfect Saint. That one has been very good. That one has the same feel as Saint's magic powers and Omnipotent and Snow White with the red hair. I get the same vibes in that and have really enjoyed the start of that.
Someone mentioned the Saints' power was omnipotent the other day. Might have been one of my employees.
I think you would enjoy it. In all honesty, like no kidding or anything like that. All seriousness, I think you would enjoy the Saints' magic powers is Omnipotent. It's 2 seasons. It is a nice little romance. It's not a slow burn romance, but it's not too sped up. It's got a good storyline. Another show that I've been watching, The Brilliant Healers, New Life in the Shadow, has been really good. A lot of different controversy that has popped up. Story of a healer that gets kicked out of a party, not so much a hero's party, but like a well-known, well-regarded party. And after the healer is kicked out, he decides to start a new life on his own, working as an underground healer in the slums. And eventually, like the most recent episode, his former party realizes, oh, well, maybe there's more to this guy than we think, since he can do stuff that none of the other healers that we've tried to hire on since him have been able to do. And basically he's told to go pound sand. It's great.
Nice.
I think that was about it on the Crunchy side of things. Oh no, I did start one other Crunchy title. Something about Gorilla God's Go-To Girl. After Ross has hounded me about that for ever.
Well, I have to say it's not. It's
I just flipped back over the thing and Ross has in there. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that Doug will try Gorilla Girl anime.
well. You know what's funny? No, talking to Doug. You know what's funny, Doug?
What's that?
I think there might be some more people wanting to watch this anime, and for completely stupid reasons.
The
You
Gorilla
know,
Girl anime?
yeah, because of gorillas in general. Because apparently, I don't know how true this is, they're actually planning to do one gorilla versus 100 men. Because of the whole, I don't know, something to do with girls trusting the bear over men or gorilla over men. I don't know. But it's been a whole meme thing going on lately because someone came up with the idea of 100 men versus one gorilla. So the whole thing has been gaining some traction from people. Not some people that don't normally watch anime might be finding this anime just because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's actually been a really good story. Ross says, Darren, let me help you out. It was Mr. Beast.
I wasn't sure if that was true that he did that or not.
It definitely does
I,
sound like a Mr. Beast type of thing.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine the waivers that had to be signed.
Yeah. Here's I know you're not much into games and stuff like that, but did you hear that High School DxD has a new game out?
Nope. I knew the mobile games have been going on for years, but no, I did not. See,
Uh,
Ross, and that's what I thought.
yeah,
I
because
never investigated it.
an ad has come across my Facebook feed that says High School DxD OPI. Smash Anime hit High School DxD is now a game.
Mind sending
Free.
that to me?
It looks like it's a gotcha game too.
I'm about to say it might be the Mobage game that I already play or used to play. You know those cards that would come out with various characters on it from DxD that would say like pawn, king, queen.
Yeah, I just sent the link to the game or to like the Facebook page for the game in our chat. So
That's true. I'll take a look at it. Operation Paradise Infinity.
so I'm guessing that's a new game.
Interesting.
Oh, I think Ross is saying that the Mr. Beast thing, 100 Men versus a gorilla, was fake.
I'm not surprised. Still created a topic of discussion among internet people, which
Yeah,
may have indirectly influenced some people toward this particular anime or Saria.
excuse me. Yeah, I lost interest in that one. I got through the first season, started season 2, and I was like,
It was an series.
I've seen far worse, but it wasn't really good by any means.
Yeah, it was not all that good. I think I watched it more on the fact of how ridiculous it was. Similar premise to what, like the difference of watching that show as opposed to Vending Machine. I went into that show thinking it might be semi decent, but watched it because it was stupid. I went in expecting Vending Machine to be crap, and it turned out to be really actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, and what did you go into Aho Girl thinking it was going to be?
I went into Aho Girl not knowing what it was. I was like, okay, I'm one of those people that will watch a show just based off like I will look at the picture associated with the show on the streaming platform, and if something about the characters in the picture appeal to me, I'll check out the show. And that was a prime example of something about it was like, this kind of looks weird. Let me check this out and see what I think. And yeah, it was definitely a thing.
I still can't believe I got Angela to watch it. Just saying.
And not only did she watch it, she didn't say it was terrible. She's like, yeah, it's not that bad. Wait, what?
Yeah, well, I got a couple in mind when she comes here, so. And now that I'm 100% sure that I'm off for longer than I may have some more time to do stuff, or may have some more stuff to look at. Mm-hmm.
John Knight in the chat says that he watched Sandland, the series dub on Hulu, in 3 days, and it was a very fun anime. He enjoyed the characters, the music, and the animation was good.
Okay. Oh, not to say, Ross brought up a very good point. The thing where you the platform we use for you to capture my famous sound bit, which you never found, thankfully, has been shut down.
Yes, I did. I saw Ross talk about that, saying that Skype has officially shut down today. I know we have that soundbite somewhere. I just haven't really
bothered to find it.
Yeah.
You'll find it eventually, and I won't care anymore.
You might as well just reenact it now for everybody.
Nico. Nope, not happening.
One of these times I'm gonna get you. One of these times I'm gonna get you. You're just gonna be like, you're gonna go into full character and get like, wait, no, damn it.
And for someone that hasn't even watched Love Live,
and question for Darren from Ross in the chat saying, because it's up your alley, are you planning on watching Yandere Dark Elf?
Yes.
He's not watching. Ross says that he is not currently watching, but heard no one talk about it at all.
It's on the list. That I will start.
Oh, eventually. That's a high dive. That's a high dive one. Okay. The only high dive show I've started is, and it's one that I'm watching with my wife, is From Bureaucrat to Villainous, Dad's Been Reincarnated. I kind of want to check out Rock is a Lady's Modesty.
I've heard interesting things about that one.
I've heard mixed reviews, so I kind of want to give it a chance and just look at it open-minded.
There is one show I know I said I was going to watch, and if I'm not mistaken, this was the show at the top of, I forget if it was the Anime Corner or Anime Trending's list for this season. and that is Witch Watch.
I've heard a few people talk about that, saying that it's surprisingly good. I've heard people say that they went into it with medium to low expectations, and it has been a lot better than what they thought it was going to be. I've heard so much positive stuff about it. It's been a possibility of something to watch.
Well,
but
the last witch anime I watched. Well, I've watched several. I watched the Zeta, I watched Maria the Virgin, and I also watched Witchcraft Works, which I love Witchcraft Works.
Which is funny, of the three, Witchcraft Works is the only one I haven't seen. I enjoyed Izetta, and I enjoyed Maria the Virgin Witch.
I think you'd really like Witchcraft Works. It was definitely, like I said, it's definitely my favorite of the three.
How about the Witch and Killing Slimes?
Eh.
Who is your favorite character from Killing Slimes in season 1?
Probably the Ice Dragon.
Oh, the Blue Dragon girl.
Yes.
Oh, what was her name? God. Too many anime character names, can't remember them all.
Yeah.
But I believe she was my wife's favorite character from the show too, because my wife liked how they included the dragon tail in her design in her human form. And you just liked her because she liked getting naked and running around.
Innocent. You
That
can't
could be
hide innocence.
That could be an interesting topic for like an October show, Ross, in all honesty. Thank you for that suggestion and question. Ross says, Doug brings up a good question. Who is the top 10 best witches in anime?
Yay, people from DxD can qualify this time because there are several in there, per se. LaFay Pendragon, for example.
Oh, you've got there. You've Familiar Zero had a witch character. You could possibly throw Yukari and Ruby from Rosario Vampire. You've got quite a variety that you could put out there. And that's going back many moons.
And I guess you could also do wizards to an extent.
Yeah.
Because, we've had how many shows in recent months dedicated to wizards?
Quite a few.
Wistoria, Mashal, Black Clover. John, I highly recommend Witchcraft Works. Just do it.
I highly recommend Rosario Vampire. Ross says, wait, there was witches in DxD. I know demons, beastmen, and nuns, but witches?
You had to read the novel, Ross. Like I said, LaFay Pendragon. And yes, that's Arthur Pendragon of the Chaos Brigade, or the Valley team, I should say. That's his sister. She becomes part of Issei's peerage later on in the series. Oh, come on, Ross. You're killing me here.
So Ross hasn't seen Witchcraft Works either. It's funny seeing the difference difference in shows on High Dive compared to what's on Crunchy? It seems like High Dive gets a lot more of the extremely ecchi shows.
Which is ironic because it used to be Funimation that got them.
Because you look at things like 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, Elf Girl's Cat, Secretly an S-Ranked Monster, and stuff like that. It's like those were all gushing over magical girls, all High Dive titles that very, very ecchi.
No, Ross, not at all. The wrong one, wrong one. No, LaFay is totally separate from anything to do with. I have a picture of her. I'll show you later. I just got to get on my computer in order to do so because apparently, even though my tablet is technically a desktop per se, it will not let me present my screen because I'm not on a desktop.
Which is weird. But one of these years, Darren will get a desktop and have a setup.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. So it's weird it won't let me present my screen, but it will let me share an image, and I'm pretty sure I have LaFay on my tablet. So give me a minute.
So Darren's looking that up. I know I'd written down a bunch of shows that I was thinking of watching. The beginning after the end, I started that one. I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes. I'm not sure what I think of it. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know if it's not what I was expecting. So that's one I'm not sure if I'm going to continue or not. That could be one of the ones I drop. That Ninja and Assassin living together, I watched like 2 episodes, and was like, this is just stupid, not my taste. I'm sure there are people out there who are going to enjoy it. It's just not for me. I'm not going to say it's a bad anime. I just thought that it really just was not anything decent or anything close to what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, I'm seeing all these pictures, but I cannot find what I'm looking for yet again. And why is Clockwork Planet in here?
Clockwork Planet was actually a lot better than I was expecting it to be.
Studio Gohans did do a good job. I'll give them that.
And even like I really enjoyed the English dub. And again, I know the only reason that I had watched it originally was because Anthony Bowling had directed it, and it was one of his early shows as the director. And I wanted to show support to his work because I enjoy a lot of stuff that Anthony Bowling has done, and the show actually was really good. I thought he did a fantastic job directing that, as he has done with many other shows.
Okay, okay, I'm not going to share that one, but I am going to share this one. Hold on. I found her, but give me a sec.
He's got to find one where it's appropriate.
No, that's not it. I clicked the wrong one because I forgot I had this other one. It's I can't even see the rest of the photo, but in this other photo, I can definitely see her. Okay, so LaFay is in the top right over there with the blonde hair and the witch's hat and the cape.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know that character, but and Ross says he found it. He was looking it up on his phone.
Well, now that I know I can do that, I can actually do a couple other things with this. That's nice. So let me try this. Screen sharing is not supported, but I can still do the images. That's hilarious.
I am tossing around the idea of putting together another Smash or Trash for a future episode. So that could be something fun, trying to find characters. And, we always enjoy bringing in the random guests or the random people to join us for the fun. I know there's been quite a few new episodes that have come out since the last one that we've done. So there are a lot of potentials out there. And who knows, maybe we could stump Darren with a trap that come out recently.
See, told you.
Yeah. Clockwork Planet.
Not to say the art of that is just beautiful.
It is. It was a very well done show. The art style was fantastic. The storyline was pretty good. It definitely wasn't a show that I would watch without something provoking me to check it out. But I'm very glad that I watched it. Plus, you get to hear somebody yell about them being a virgin. It was great. I know that image.
I would hope so.
Have the same thing right there.
And plus, that was a screenshot of you posting it.
Of course, then you have that one.
I'm gonna have fun with this. And there's the full image from the thing you see all the time. I don't want to show that one.
Nothing bad.
No, nothing bad. Nothing bad. Like I said, I'm just having fun with this at this point.
Throw some random stuff up there.
But this is probably one of my favorite illustrations that they did almost perfectly once it hit the anime. You got the two strongest beings in existence side by side each other. So, Doug, I think I've asked this before, but I'm going to ask it again because we may have some new listeners. What is more vast, the universe or the dreams of mankind?
I want to say the dreams of mankind. Granted, neither of them know no bounds and no limits.
Exactly. You have Great Red here, the dragon. His power is derived on the dreams of man. And you got Ophis, the infinite dragon god, whose power is equivalent to that of the vastness of the universe. And Great Red's also known as the true dragon. So you have the two strongest beings in the High School DxD franchise.
And Dragon Girl.
Yep. Well, here's the funny part. Ophis has no gender. This is just the form that it decided to pick most recently.
And it's looking like we may have an Angela joining us momentarily. She was just asking if we were still on, and I said yes, so she may be joining us.
Well, let me pull up a photo she's gonna hate while or don't bring her on until I can pull up a photo that
she already brought herself on.
Oh man.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What photo are you talking about?
I don't know. I was gonna just pick one at random. I'll do that one. I miss her.
Aw.
Baby kitty.
Yeah, I miss her.
Kitty's adorable.
John Knight says, busted, Darren. Ross says, bring
tried.
out the red panda. Angela is here.
Bring out no. Ross, no.
I just got that.
I'm sure I'm missing something.
You are. Don't think too hard on it.
Well, all right.
Oh, here we go. And this is a manga you need to read, Doug.
Give me just a second here.
Take your time.
All right. Well, what manga is this?
Madaka Box. All those words was a fraction of her skills.
And then, Darren, we have this.
Yes, that.
Red panda.
Oh, of course.
Hey, we didn't bring it up this time.
Fair, but still.
Hey, it was a request from the chat. I obliged in this one.
Ross likes to troll us all. Or
Yeah, so.
encourages us to troll each other, which
That's why I'm half waiting, and I'm trying to put positivity out into the universe when we find out that we are guests at Pop Cult. Watch Ross show up and surprise us all the way from Arkansas. Comes all the way up to Massachusetts to be like, I had to be here.
I know, right?
stranger things have happened. And apparently you guys went all over the place.
Yeah, which is normal.
Skype, Karate Kid, and Jackie Chan. What?
Pretty much.
I'm sure Angela does not know that anime.
What anime is this?
Shimonetta.
I've heard of it.
That
A world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist.
Mm.
And also, Subway immediately closed 600 stores across the country without warning employees, apparently.
Well, shit, is what I have to say to that. I knew about Skype.
Mm-hmm. Karate Kid having a new movie coming out. I did hear about that.
I vaguely remember hearing something about that.
So I've got to ask you, Ange, are you caught up on Apothecary?
I think so.
You think so?
If an episode dropped...
Episodes drop on Fridays. So the last episode dropped 3 days ago.
Then yes, we're caught up because we watched that Saturday.
It has gotten, I think, even better. And I think one of the questions that I brought up a few weeks ago is starting to show its answer
Which is,
about Shishui.
yep.
Darren's having fun because he just figured out he can share images.
Yeah, because I can't share my screen. This is a tablet, so theoretically, it should be able to share screens. No, you have to be on a desktop.
Meh.
But it has Apothecary Diaries has been really good, and it's one that my wife and I both are like, we're being good. We're not watching it ahead of the other. We watch it together.
Oh yeah, no, we have been watching Apothecary Diaries together. That's like the show we've been prioritizing. It is fantastic.
I still can't find volume 4 of the manga. I've gone to 3 Barnes and Nobles recently. None of them have had it. They have like 1, 2, and then it jumps to like 7. So I may have to wait till Crunchyroll has it again in a few weeks.
So what you're telling me is I need to go find it up here.
You don't need to.
Or
I'm almost done
down here.
I'm almost done with volume 3, but that's okay because I started reading the light novel for Realist Hero. I was showing Darren this earlier, and I got to take the backdrop off so that you can get a true appreciation of the. This is the light novel for Realist Hero. This is volume 2. You can see how thick the book is.
Yeah.
368 pages in volume 2.
Yeah. Pretty standard.
I'm like 70 something. I'm about 75, almost 80 pages into volume 1. Which, for somebody who, for most of their life, was an anime-only person, to start reading the mangas and the light novels, I thought you'd be proud that I have started reading something more than, reading a book with words in it, not just pictures.
As someone who has been reading since a very young age, but didn't translate to manga until very recently.
And then you have images like that.
To each their own.
Which I had no idea that was in there. Tonight was actually the first night I opened volume 2 because I was like, I haven't finished volume 1, but it's in my work bag. I read about 40 pages last night while I was on lunch.
John Knight says he watched Suicide Squad Isekai dub on Hulu in a single day. Funny Sky anime. Characters were very interesting. Music was great, and congrats for being nominated for Crunchyroll Award. I heard mixed reviews on the very much not scientific or relevant to anything, just my social media feeds. Some people loved it, some people hated it.
Hello, Julily. Wonderful to see you in the chat. I hope that the 10-10 Idol semifinals went really good over the weekend.
And also from the chat, Ross says Queen Latifah's CBS show The Equalizer got canceled and ended yesterday. Huh.
I didn't even know that show existed, so.
Neither did I.
I knew Queen Latifah had a show, didn't remember what it was called, and I've never actually seen it. But I suppose since the advent of streaming at all, that has completely changed the game for network television. Because now I don't have to worry about missing episodes. I can watch shows on my time. Yeah,
that's kind of like every Tuesday I watch an episode of The Voice on Peacock because I've been enjoying that. Thanks to YouTube, I've been able to watch some of the Savannah Bananas baseball games live.
Oh, guess what? I'm actually going to one of the live games at Fenway Park.
How much were the tickets, if you don't mind me asking?
It was a price range. I believe the cheapest seats were about 40, the most expensive were about 80 per.
Okay, then because I was looking
Yes.
online for
Ask Doug. This was Doug's segue, not mine.
because they're going to be having a game up here in Allentown, and I went to like the website for their league and stuff, and I guess tickets are lotteried.
Yes, tickets are lotteried.
I wasn't able to get in on the lottery. To get it without lottery, you're looking at like $500 a ticket.
That's if they don't sell out. Because Fenway Park completely sold out.
And this is going to be at Coca-Cola Park in Allentown, which is the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, the AAA team for the Philadelphia Phillies. And
But
this week, actually tomorrow, they start like a 6-game series against the Worcester Red Sox. Isn't that where the Paw Sox went?
yes, the Pawtucket Red Sox moved to Worcester.
So
your AAA team is playing my AAA team.
well, it's still my AAA team because I'm still a Red Sox fan, but
so anniversaries all around. John Knight says yesterday was the 9th anniversary of My Hero Academia dub, and Ross says this year marks the 20th anniversary of the animation show called Trolls.
interesting.
Yeah.
Angelili said that they had a good time and a good turnout for the 1010 idol competition. Said that they have a performance playback on their YouTube channels. Just search 1010 and you spell the words out, TENTENNYC, on YouTube. Check that out after the show tonight if you'd like. She has taken the day off to recover and relax since it was a lot of work, but she learned a lot and had so much fun. So I'm so glad.
While we're doing shout outs, I'm going to do a shout out because this weekend's PAX East, and as it got discussed during, I believe, the anniversary show, Jay Moores is going to be there doing demos, doing playthroughs of Fae, and I'm actually going to be in one.
Nice. Of course, huge shout out to Jay Moores, awesome guy, longtime friend of the show, longtime personal friend.
So if
amazing family.
So any of you who are going to be at PAX East, go check that out, among other things.
Now, I don't know if any of the streamers that I typically watch, the gaming streamers I typically watch, are going to be there. I know in years past, Sigils has been there, Dropsy has been there. I can give you a list of people and be like, if you hear of these people or happen to notice them or something, see if we can get them. Just run your mouth and come on run your mouth and get them on the show.
I promise nothing. Me running my mouth will probably happen. It amounting to anything is a crapshoot. And yes, Julili, I am almost always freezing. Therefore, I have blankets everywhere. And subsequently, the one I'm currently wrapped up in is the Gundam one.
I'm about to say, what do you set your apartment at so I know what to have it set here?
Don't worry about it. I am accustomed to. No, I'm accustomed to New England winter. And oil heat's expensive, so we keep it set. We keep it set on the cooler side until we hit like the depths of winter.
Gotcha.
And right now the heat is off because we had some really nice weather, and then it got cold again.
It was chilly down here. Well, down here for Angela, up here for Darren.
Yeah,
kind of like
and
in the
it
middle of
was-
you guys now.
Well, I have to say it stormed here earlier today, so we had heavy rain and lightning and all that mess from like 12 o'clock this afternoon all the way up until like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we
Today we had a high of like 66, and this is day 3 of 5 consecutive days of rain.
it's only day 2 of consecutive rain, but it was so nice Friday and Saturday. And then yesterday it's
Friday was rain. Friday there was so much lightning and thunder going on that my house was shaking from 11 o'clock through the rest of the night.
ooh.
Saturday was similar, but not quite that night. But it was a pretty nice Saturday. Now tomorrow's supposed to be nice.
Friday night
Well,
was good.
and
Had
now
good
we're
thunder and
getting
lightning.
comments in the chat. Julie and Ross are talking about there's a conversation about trolls. And to Darren from Julily, where do you reside? Are you also in the Northeast area?
Southeast.
And John Knight also got thunder in Virginia.
I have to say, to answer your question, Jalili, I'm just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, so I'm technically southeast. John, I did not know you were in Virginia. You're closer than what I realized.
I did respond back to your email. It took me a few days because when you sent the email out originally, I was in a hotel in Western PA, so I wasn't able to respond back as timely as I would have liked to. I also know that you had a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but hopefully you're able to talk and we can see about getting you back on the show in the very near future. Because I did look into the 1010 NYC a little bit, went to the website and was reading a bit about it, and it seems like it's a really, really cool thing. We also did do a little bit of promotions on the show a couple of weeks ago about 1010 NYC and the idol competition that you had going on. So hopefully we're able to get some more interest your way. And Drew Lily says that explains the accent, Von Darren.
I have that much of a southern accent. You need to hear me when I go down to Florida with my cousins. Then it gets even deeper.
I was gonna say compared to the rest of us, yeah, you do, but
it's a wicked strong accent. Yeah, guy.
I got told at work the other day that I do not have a strong Boston accent.
I don't either. I have a very much of a chameleon kind of accent. It depends on the area I'm at as to how fast I can pick up an accent. Because at one point in time, all I did was watch NASCAR, listen to country music, and I was asked what part of the South I was from. As a Massachusetts born and raised, especially around the Boston area, to be asked what part of the South I was from caught me by surprise. I come out here to Pennsylvania when visiting family. It would take me about half a day, and I'd start talking like a local.
Nah, whereas I grew up north enough of Boston, and neither of my parents is from New England. So I didn't get the super heavy accent. It just comes out in certain situations. And when I travel is when people seem to notice.
And I laugh because my oldest sister, has a strong Boston accent. And yeah, actually, Easter, I was able to lucky enough to have Easter Sunday off, and we had dinner with the family, and that conversation of accents actually came up, and my sister was telling us about the people that she works with. She asked because she works for a grocery store in the area that shops for the customers and brings the orders out to the car, and one of her pickers, she was asking, do we have any of this butter? And he had no idea what she was talking about.
Yep.
which most people, it's butter. But because of Boston accent, ours
butter.
are optional. It's butter. Hey, do you know if we have any of this butter? What? The butter. She also likes to say garbage instead of garbage. And
Yep.
if my wife gets really worked up, even though she's not from New England, she can get a Boston accent going, and I do pick on her about it at times.
Nope. Mine comes out usually when either I've had too much to drink or I'm exhausted.
Or somebody tells you they're from Boston and they're from Plymouth.
That's a different story altogether. See, Boston is an attitude.
It's just fun to get you going.
I'm aware.
Ross says that he doesn't have an accent. Ladybeard had a. I like the Australian accent. Ladybeard had a good accent. He was fun to talk with.
Oh, Ladybeard was so chill.
He's just an amazing human being.
Agreed.
Getting to chat with him at Anime Boston and having him on the show for the hour plus that he spent with us, just an amazing human being. So much fun to be around.
Ross, to answer Ross's question, probably not. Horror movie question for Angela: are you going to see Final Destination Bloodlines? Given that I've never actually seen anything out of the franchise, probably not.
I have not seen any of the Final Destination movies, but even I refuse to go behind a logging truck.
And ironically, two of my good friends are in the tree business.
Now, what shows have you been able to keep up with this season, Ange? I know Darren hasn't had a chance to watch anything because store reopening and landscaping.
There's exactly one show I'm caught up with.
And that's Apothecary.
Yep. Basically, we started very little. We started very few new shows because we got way too busy, and it has stayed that way.
There's one show I think you might enjoy because I know you like history, and I know you like anime that gives you facts on different areas. It's a Crunchyroll title called Zatsu Tabi, That's Journey.
Guess what? That's on our list. We haven't started it yet.
I started it, and I started it late. I think like 3 episodes had dropped, and off the first episode, I wrote down notes that I said, "Good start, enjoying the views and history." So right off the bat, I'm like, I kind of like this. It has a very similar feeling as to Wandering Witch and Kino's Last Journey.
Nope. This season we got way too busy with stuff.
Life, the universe, everything.
Yep. And PAX this week means more behind, and then me traveling solo means another week where we probably don't watch anything.
Yeah.
And from the other room, except Apothecary Diaries, like I said, that's the one thing we are staying caught up with, and probably the next one that we are the least far behind on is Windbreaker Season 2, which we're at least 1, if not 2 episodes behind on that.
Of the other shows that I have been watching, if there's another show that I would think could possibly be up your alley, and this is in all seriousness, I know we like to poke fun at each other about,
yeah,
but I think you would enjoy The Two Perfect Saints. And the full title, let me find it here, because it's a bit longer of a title. Too perfect saint tossed aside by my fiance and sold to another kingdom. It has a. It looks like it feels like it's going to have a romance aspect that goes into it, but it's an interesting story building world about a girl who has saintly powers. She's got a younger sister who also is a saint. The country she's engaged to her nation's prince, but he's an ass. Her parents treat her like garbage. She's just focused so much on her duties that she doesn't know how to have a personality at first. But after she's basically sold to this neighboring kingdom, she starts to loosen up a little bit and starting to discover what it's like to actually have feelings and be allowed to just be a human. But the story's been really, really good. I feel like it's got some really good world building and storytelling in it. That's why I think you might like it.
The answer is maybe. I'm not gonna flat out say no to much.
Except Vending Machine.
Yep. That the title alone of that was enough for me to be like, okay, they've gone too far.
Well, even I said it was. Even I, when it first came out, was expecting it to be garbage. I wasn't expecting it to actually be as good as it is, and I'm genuinely excited for season 2. I also had mentioned earlier about Killing Slime season 2. Season 2 has not been as good as season 1.
And a serious question from John Knight: does anyone feel anime burnout? A feeling of fatigue, lack of motivation to watch anime can stem from several factors. John,
all of us have hit that.
All of us have hit that, and I think that's probably part of what I'm kind of feeling right now.
I know my wife gets burned out from anime quite a bit, and anime is one of the few things that I watch. So like our her and my idea of entertainment's a bit different. Where she's big into movies and some TV shows and stuff like that. Where mainly when I watch stuff, I either watch anime, sports, or YouTube gaming. I don't really get into sitcoms like I used to when I was younger. Movies don't really interest me much. Outside of the Minecraft movies was better than I expected.
Julili says, yes, I feel that heavy, John. It's why I'm an old school girly. Haven't watched much or not even the new ones. So def need to take a breather since it can get too intense for me, to be honest. Yeah, no, there are seasons where there's very little that even catches my attention.
Yeah,
This season there was a lot of, "Ooh, this looks interesting." And
but
then
I
I
don't have
sit
the
down.
time.
No, and I sit down to watch, and it's like, when I have the time, it's like, I don't feel like watching this right now.
I think part of that too is we're living in a time where the anime market is so oversaturated, and we're seeing so many cookie cutter shows. How many villainous shows are out there?
Too many.
How many isekais? How many shonens that have a very similar storyline that's just like, this guy's weak, he wants to become strong, he's going to go through this 1,000-episode journey or
And
whatever.
arguably arguably with the isekai and the shonen, some really good ones get overlooked because something that's not nearly as good gets all the media attention and therefore all the views.
Yeah. And then every now and then you find like the hidden jewels, like a Apothecary Diaries, a Frieren, and Mushoku Tensei. Although my wife has started has me watching. We just started Yona of the Dawn. She says that has a Apothecary Diaries feel to it to her.
That's an old one.
Yeah, after
Probably
a
about
couple episodes, I don't.
10, 12 years.
I was gonna say I think we've watched 2 or 3 episodes of it. I'm not sure how I feel about it just yet. I don't think it's one that I would watch on my own, but I don't mind watching it with her. I know that's a series that she really enjoyed. And at some point, potentially, we may start getting the manga of that because she's curious because she knows that the manga continued well past what the anime did. I think we saw at Barnes and Noble that there's like 41 volumes of the manga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got some comments from Julili on this. Lots of folks in New York City community, she notices, are definitely more into old school series. Love getting in touch with our roots and bringing it back with some good old fashioned nostalgia. I've noticed some of that as well. And then she's also concerned with the oversaturation of the market and with the overconsumption of anime related products. It whittles down the bonding in these spaces, so bringing it back to community is important.
And John Knight says that March 17th was the 10th anniversary of the Yona of the Dawn dub.
Shoe Lily, that's a lot to unpack. I'm actually going to agree with a lot of that.
Yeah.
Same.
It's one, and that's one thing that we've touched on here multiple times. Not just is the anime market oversaturated. We've talked to, especially before COVID had hit, were there too many conventions? Because we were seeing a time and
when you could literally go on social media and see at least one convention being someone was at every weekend. But I never thought of it from like also the merchandise perspective. And I can kind of see that.
Yeah, I mean, we went into a store today. My wife and I, we were doing some shopping. We went into a store that I forget the name of the store, but it was one of those places where you go in, you find a lot of different things at like cheaper prices than you would. You can get clothes, you can get house accessories, toys.
Yeah, like a Five Below kind of store.
More like a Goodwill. It's like an upscale Goodwill.
Oh, like Savers.
I'd say here that would be like Guardian Angel,
or like a consignment shop.
Yeah, something along those lines. But they had like a lot of different items in there that were like Hello Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Hello Kitty toothbrushes, Hello Kitty plates, Hello Kitty earplugs. It's like, so seeing like the oversaturation, like Julie was talking about, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Target, you can go to a grocery store and find anime related merchandise.
Hello Kitty this year or last year when we were in Japan, there was a anniversary, I forget which year, but a big anniversary. So there was all sorts of special Hello Kitty and Sanrio merch.
Yep, and there was also several of the planes for Air Japan, I think it was, were done up in Hello Kitty wraps. And then, of course, last year you also had the Hello Kitty X Yu-Gi-Oh release and McDonald's too, or the Sanrio.
And Julie in the chat says, even though I enjoy some of the events, I wonder how people have the money to afford it since I get how expensive it can get. When you're looking at hotel tickets, travel tickets, admission to some of the conventions can be in the triple digits for the weekend.
And then, look, you have no idea. Well, you probably do because you've been there. The number of side conversations I hear at conventions when I'm in the dealer area talking about, oh, I have X amount of dollars left for this, or hey, I want to really go back for this, but it's kind of pushing my budget, yada yada yada. Like I hear so many numbers while I'm in the dealer's room every year. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something. And having been on the other side of the table as a vendor, working with my wife when she was selling her artwork, it wasn't uncommon for people to be like, I really enjoy your art, but I only have X amount of money left. Do you have anything that could fit in that price range?
I mean, I've heard a lot worse. I've heard stories about people who basically borrowed money from friends to basically pay for their convention expenses and then never repaid them.
Yeah, that has happened multiple times. I know people who struggle to pay everyday bills, and then you see them go to these conventions, got a new cosplay, got this, got that, going out to eat all the time, but then they're looking for help from friends to pay rent or pay a bill or something of that nature.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Something.
Just like in the everyday work environment, my fellow employees, some of them worse than others, will always find a way to drink, but then find a way to call out for X, Y, and Z reasons, and then complain when their paychecks are short because they called out.
Yep.
Well, yeah, you don't work, you don't get paid. That's not how that works.
Mm-hmm. But when they're intoxicated, that's how it works in their mindset, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a big drinker. I do on occasion. I might have one, but
I think my lips have touched alcohol maybe. I don't think even one time. I think I may have tried a sip of wine from my parents years ago, but that was it. And then one time, my dad's
at band camp.
coworker. What?
God,
No, my dad's
Doug.
My dad's coworker. His wife had made some brownies and brought them in to work. They were spiked with rum. They were good, but they were strong. It really brought out the chocolate, though.
Yeah. And
comment in the chat from John Knight. Oh, we just saw the same thing. Angela, Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train will re-release in theaters May 14th in 4K this time.
And Ross says,
Darren, cash grab to me.
And Ross says, Darren, don't ever try champagne. It tastes like soap. I'm going to disagree with Ross's assessment, although it's not that great. It is highly overrated.
Let me put it to you this way. I have no intention of tasting alcohol, period.
I like my occasional fancy cocktail or my occasional hard cider. But at my age, I don't drink a lot anymore.
I might have like every once in a while I might have a hard Mountain Dew. If I'm out somewhere like at a convention, I don't have to drive. I might get a drink with dinner if we're out at a restaurant or something like that. But I have not been drunk in years.
You know, it's funny though. I pick on my employees all the time. Their addiction when they're at work is like a Red Bull, a Monster, some sort of energy drink, and I'm always on them. I'm like, "How do y'all drink that stuff?" And they're like, "How do you not?"
I need the. I'll be honest. I need the energy drinks because of my work schedule.
I Red Bull is gross.
Yeah,
The only
Uh,
energy drink I ever drank was Amp.
Was what?
Amp.
a Mountain Dew Zamp.
Yes, I
No,
remember that.
no.
I did.
Wait, that was made. That was manufactured by Mountain Dew.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was, and I didn't like it for that. I didn't like it, but I also don't like Mountain Dew.
I my the only one I ever really drank was the blue one because it had a red, blue, and a green. The red
yeah,
was okay. The blue was the one I liked.
Uh, for energy drinks, I actually like Monster Rehab. Those are the tea. They're tea based.
yeah. I,
Um, I
I
don't really like the carbonated ones that much.
Um, I
for,
know my
for
employees like Bang.
I,
Oh
I,
God.
I drink Bang because one of the reasons that like I like the blue raspberry and I like the strawberry Bangs. The reason I drink those is the 0 calories.
Oh God, they are so sickeningly sweet, though.
I like sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, if you like
Hence,
sweet,
two of my favorite flavors of Ghost are orange creamsicle and Swedish fish.
And I suppose me liking the green tea flavored
That
drink.
surprises me not at all.
I,
And Julili on this line of energy drinks, Julili says, I don't drink energy drinks because it flares up my nervous system. I only do so if I'm very desperate, but my sleep is so important to me, so that's extremely rare. Julili, I normally just stick with day to day. I normally stick with coffee.
I'm
I,
a tea and soda person. I don't do coffee either.
What is sleep?
Um, a
no, no, no,
theory.
no, Doug. The correct question is who needs sleep.
Not me.
Well, I've always lived by the rule. There's plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. So,
And bringing
Mm,
us back to anime, John Knight
boo.
says, "What's your favorite Mappa anime?" And I'm gonna have to look that up because
oh, he,
Didn't
he
we
did
kind
that
of
to
go
us
through?
last week. He did that to us
About to
last week
say,
when Angela wasn't here.
yes, I was
He was
about to say,
asking us
I'm
a few
pretty sure we
different.
already answered this question.
Yeah.
well, let's see if my anime list wants to cooperate and give me a list of every Mappa anime. And the answer is no. That didn't work like that. Darn it.
Angela Lily is yelling at me saying, Doug, please sleep. Don't ask that question. The reason that I say that is, and I say that in jest, but because of working for the railroad, there are multiple times where I would start working now for a 12-hour day, 12 to 14-hour day, and then sleep
Damn it.
for between 2 to 5 hours, maybe get another hour to 3 hour nap during the day, and then be up all night again. So my sleep is very, very broken up. Tonight I'll be able to sleep like a normal person. I'll probably be in bed by midnight. I'm going to take a sleeping pill to help me sleep all night because I don't have to work tomorrow. I don't go back. I'm on my 48 hours rest. So I can actually hopefully sleep, especially where last night I got very crappy sleep. I didn't get home till like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Didn't go to bed till like 2 after my mind finally wind down. The life of a railroader is very difficult. I kind of knew that going in. Uh, But that's why I jokingly say, "What is sleep?" Because I also try not to sleep while on the train.
I would hope not.
Agreed.
There are some people though there are some people on the trains, not the engineers, but conductors who'll go up there and just they'll make a little bed and sleep the entire trip. When they get somewhere and have to work, the conductor gets up and then does what they're supposed to. But there's things you're supposed to be doing while on the train as well, including looking out for dangers, keeping an eye on signals, stuff like that. And I don't know if you were on the show, Ange, when I told Darren, but one of the engineers I had been working with, I got him to start watching Freerun and Apothecary Diaries while in the hotel.
All right. Actually looking, that's awesome. I do
Because they're on
remember you
Netflix.
saying that.
Because they're on Netflix.
And I'm actually looking up Studio Mappa and looking at this. Lots of good stuff.
Oh, Mappa's got a lot of great shows.
A lot that I've watched actually.
Not surprising.
Well, in no particular order. Jujutsu Kaisen, which I have not watched. Chainsaw Man, which was great. Attack on Titan, well, we all know my thoughts on that. God of High School, which I absolutely loved, which was a Netflix which was a Crunchyroll based on a webcomic. Yuri on Ice, which
That was a good one.
Which I enjoyed far more than I thought I would. Zombieland Saga.
I need to watch season 2 of that. I watched season 1.
What little I saw, I didn't grab me. Lazarus, which we haven't started yet. That's this season, which means I believe that's also Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of my favorites.
Lily's thoughts on Attack on Titan are right up there with yours, Ange. AOT was good until the end. Completely disappointed her.
The very last part of the Attack on Titan could have ended at the end of season 3 with like a 90-minute OVA to tie up loose ends. The final season was
a train wreck.
After a certain point, a steaming pile of garbage.
And I have to ask, since we have Julie in the chat, and knowing how much of an Idol fan and being an Idol herself, did you ever watch the anime AKB 0048? Because I'm not going to lie, since the email that you had sent, I went back and started rewatching it. I've seen it before. I love like the AKB48's music and stuff, and I had seen the show a long time ago. I was like, I want to go back and rewatch that. So I rewatched the whole first season. And John Knight's right. I watched one episode of Attack on Titan and said, it's not for me. Ross says that he has watched AKB 0048 and the songs are on Spotify. I like the Idol music. And Julie says, yes, she has watched AKB 0048 since its release and watched it weekly when she was young, waiting for each new episode. It is a really good series, and anybody who knows the show knows how much I have enjoyed music-based animes of various types. Everything from the Love Live franchise, Show by Rock, AKB 0048,
Shine Post,
and then there was the other High Dive one of the like ancient Japanese warrior who becomes the singer's agent.
I
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Drew Lily, for the info.
think I never really got into the Idol anime. But I think also some of that is as simple as like a couple of other franchises. It's like it's gotten to a point where with certain shows, it's like, okay, there's so much. Wait, where do I start? No, okay, nope. Because it's like, how many different Love Live shows are there with how many seasons?
Yeah, and not all the Love Live seasons are different variations of Love Live are the same.
And for someone who doesn't necessarily know the difference, it's way too.
The good thing is you don't have to watch like the original Love Live to watch Love Live Sunshine or Superstar or the other high school one.
And Julili says she's very picky with idol anime. AKB0048 and Wake Up Girls is at least one of the good ones. And John Knight asks Julili what her favorite dubbed anime is, and her response: "Ghost Story" is hands down.
Excuse me.
Question.
Thank you. Oh, Review Starlight. That's a show that I need to finish. I'd started, but then fell off because of, I think we didn't have a High Dive subscription for a bit when I was watching that. Your boy Kong Ming. That was the music anime I was thinking of.
The
music
one
in that-
Chinese general.
Yeah, the Chinese General. That was actually really good.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Ross, Ross says that he stopped Love Live after Sunshine. I think you would enjoy Superstar.
And you know what? I'm gonna share Julili's hot take here. She's very vocal about her dislike of Love Live, but fans won't be particularly fond of her for that. As I've said already tonight, to each their own.
Exactly.
And we are all allowed to have opinions. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Love Live or any of the shows that I've never seen.
Yep.
Just kind of based on premise and what little clips I've caught on social media. I kind of, with Love Live specifically, just kind of falls under not for me.
You're in the Nico no category. As Darren would say.
Let it be known that I blatantly ignored Ross putting that in the chat a while back. And I don't know if either or both of you saw it.
I did not.
It's in there.
Oh, I'm sure. Because Darren and I were talking earlier about him doing the Nico voice and us having it on recording somewhere, but have not been able to find it.
It is entirely possible that I have it. Because, Doug, I still have your flash drive with a bunch of old episodes on it.
I don't know if you have it on the flash drive.
I don't either. I said might.
Because it was recorded on the laptop.
I don't know.
Skype.
I don't know. I still have your flash drive with a bunch of old AZR recordings.
Yeah, I think everything that's on the flash drive was actual live shows. This was a recording for AZR After Dark or AZR
After Hours.
After Hours.
on the platform that is now shut down.
In which one of those episodes we actually had Marissa Lenti with us.
And Jew Lily says, not gonna lie, that AI scream trend is silly, but sticks in your head if you guys know the song.
I'm not sure what song you're referring to. I've got too many songs that get stuck in my head recently.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
But the one lately is that Apatapata song.
Oh my god. You know what? I respect that. So I respect that for what it is, but it is everything I don't like about Bruno Mars and everything I don't like about K-pop put together.
And the reason that song sticks in my head so much is when we went to my brother-in-law's house. He has 2 young children. They have, the Siri or whatever it is you speak to, and the kids had them play that song, I think, about 8 times while we're there.
Yeah. That sounds about right. And whether it was Siri, Alexa, doesn't matter. It's the same. It's effectively the same thing.
And then the other song that got stuck in my head recently because of the voice was Pink Pony Club. Because somebody from Bridgewater, Massachusetts went and sang that, trying to make it to the lives. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through, but I was pulling for him since he was a Massachusetts native from an area that we know very well.
Yep. There was on this season of
Ice
Survivor.
Cream. Love Love Live
Ross.
song. Julie says, don't get her started on Pink Pony Club.
I will say this season of Survivor, at the beginning of this season, there was a guy from South Shore, Massachusetts. I forget which town. And we were rooting for him, but he was on a bad team and already gone.
Yep. Mass gets no love. Wicked hard to be from Mass.
Like I said, Boston is an attitude.
But I probably asked this of you before, Julie, knowing that you're picky about your idol anime shows. Did you ever watch Shine Post? I think I had recommended that one to you before, but I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch that, because that one, hands down, is probably my favorite idol-based anime.
I would say even I watched it.
Oh God! All right, I'm gonna laugh at Ross for this, and I'm gonna share a story.
Yes, Julie, Shine Post. And here's the comment from Ross.
Because you love to travel, do you think you could win the Amazing Race? Ross, the answer is I don't know. That said, my husband and I have been watching that for years now. We binged a whole bunch at one point and then just kind of kept up with it. And every episode we go through the challenges and actually discuss who could do what. And we've agreed we would never actually bother to go on the show because for a multitude of reasons, but we enjoy the heck out of watching it. And I maintain that I could drive a car in almost any country. That said, I would need someone to give me directions. Because I would be that person that gets lost for hours if I didn't.
The weird part about me with driving is, because of being a railroad fanatic like I was growing up, I can find my way to most locations based on where railroad tracks are.
Oh, I
I've,
have a,
I've always been like a landmark person. Forget road names, give me landmarks, and I can tell you how to get there.
yes, but when someone says turn left at the Dunkin' Donuts in New England,
You have to ask which one.
yeah,
The city of Wareham had 15 Dunkin' Donuts in it. I'm sure Boston's probably got 45.
my hometown had 3. 2 of them were on the same street.
We have one.
Yeah, but how many Krispy Kreme do you have?
One. In Fuquay, one. And then the next closest Krispy Kreme is the original Krispy Kreme in Raleigh, where all the non-glazed donuts are shipped from.
How many
No.
Starbucks?
In Fuquay, one.
All right.
Tim
Darren,
Hortons?
Tim Hortons is a Canadian thing.
It's in the
Zero.
US too. They had it in Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse, border.
Plattsburgh's closer to the Canadian border than Syracuse is.
Still an easy.
Hey, look, we're one of the only. No, we're not. I take it back. We're one of the only town cities in the area to have 2 Bojangles, but I forgot. There's multiple in Cary, multiple in Raleigh, multiple in Durham. There's 2 in Apex. There's 2 here. There's 1 in Holly Springs.
Okay. And Ross, I have to actually share this now. Since we brought up food, Ross says my work is now selling quesadillas with chicken fingers inside.
And
And
McDonald's is actually bringing chicken tenders to the menu permanently.
Taco Bell, it brought back their chicken nuggets, and I think it's going to be a permanent thing. And the Taco Bell chicken nuggets were actually really good.
oh God, he did it. No.
It's a night that the lights went out at Angie's house.
The joys of modern technology.
And Julie says that she
And
has
it
a
fails.
Tim Hortons near her.
Wait, they got rid of the original cream donuts off the menu? Huh?
And in Julie's area anyway, in the NYC, I'm guessing in the NYC area.
Still, I'm trying to. Are she talking about cream filled, or is she talking about the original glaze?
I don't know, but Darren, if you are that close to the original Krispy Kreme,
Yes, we're going because it's in Raleigh.
that is a thing that I will have to do.
Yep, it's in Raleigh, and I can't remember.
I haven't even done that yet.
And she says cream filled, not the glazed.
Okay. But have y'all heard of the Krispy Kreme challenge?
No.
No.
Okay, it was a random challenge started by a couple of NC State students years ago. So Krispy Kreme is a few miles from NC State's bell tower. The challenge was to run from the bell tower to Krispy Kreme, eat a dozen donuts, and run back. That caught on and has become a huge event that they hold every year. And the proceeds from entering now go toward a charity of some kind. I forget what, but it's something that they do every year. I think it's around February. I don't remember. But that's a very popular event around here.
You know what? We are going to do a bunch of food things while I'm down there. And then when I get
including
home,
her taking over your kitchen. I'm sure that you're going to take over his kitchen at some point to make something.
I could. Probably brownies, because brownies are actually really easy.
They actually have a website dedicated to it.
Nice.
So it's 12 donuts, 5 miles, 1 hour.
I don't think I could eat 12 donuts, period.
At one point in time, I could, but not now.
So this thing has been going on for over 20 years. The original challenge was in 2004. Which is, it's kind of funny. That was started by NC State. Anime-Zing was started by NC State students.
Andrew Lily says we definitely need a food segment, cover food animes next. We just do that from time to time.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's usually not planned.
Nope. I just was always interested that there were a couple of videos channels out there that would try to recreate some of the dishes from Food Wars.
I would not be surprised if Babish Culinary Universe did that.
There was a couple of Crunchyroll sponsored events where they did something like that. There was also, I think, Smosh. Was it Smosh?
Mythical Kitchen, maybe?
Maybe.
And one of the last things, because look at the time, Ross says, forgot to ask since we didn't see you on last stream, but are you excited for a Kobayashi Goodbye Kana movie? If that is what I think it is, I didn't.
That is the new Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid movie dedicated to Kana.
I watched exactly 2 episodes of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and I did not like it.
Too bad you didn't get to meet Fafnir. I think you'd have liked him. What
Honestly,
do you think, Doug?
Potentially. I think Fafnir was a gamer.
I think that I would not be surprised if that was a simply friends forced me to watch it, so therefore I didn't like it on principle. That and the first couple episodes just did not grab me at all.
I'm curious to see what shows you and Darren get each other to watch.
If I don't make him watch a couple episodes of Psycho Pass, it will be something along that vein.
But to say, and I'm all for watching Psycho Pass. I've already admitted that.
Psycho Pass is just one of my favorites. Did you watch Wonder Egg, Darren?
No, it was on the list though, so I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna we're just gonna go down the vein of psychological thriller / horror-esque.
Fine by me.
And Lord help us if everything comes to fruition for August. If all of us are together, who knows what'll happen?
Expect a lot. If all of us make it up to Pop Cult, expect an AZR panel.
Oh yeah. Expect a.
Mhm.
I would ask for 2 panels because I would want to have one panel be a live show in panel form from Pop Cult on top of the live streaming we would do from the table.
And then I'll also have to throw and then also my so you want to go to Japan panel.
That one, and even a podcasters panel where we can talk about what it's like to put on the show, stuff that goes on behind the scenes, things like that.
And also, viewers would get to see my face, which you
Yeah.
don't get to see very often. To prove I do exist.
And probably more of my hot takes because in person less filter.
Yeah.
And a lot more of my swearing because with on air I try to actually filter that.
So you try to be professional. Oh my goodness.
I try.
Doesn't always work. You get just one trigger or something, and the try goes out the window. You know, when you say something like Bofuri is what I thought SAO should have been. Julia in the chat says, "Oh yay, AZR panel! If you're able to make it up to where exactly is Pop Cult gonna be
Waltham,
held?
Massachusetts. If nothing else, I will be there. It is in August.
Is a smaller con.
Definitely a smaller con. They definitely do not focus on the guests. They focus on the community aspect of smaller conventions and the things to do. Making sure that everyone who attends feels like they're part of the convention family.
So if everything falls into place correctly, it could be the first time in AZR history that all 3 of us are in the same location at the same time and able
5
to
years
put on.
overdue.
What was that, Darren?
5 years overdue.
Yep.
Yeah. And for those keeping score, Angela and I have been at conventions together. Darren and I have been to conventions together. At the end of the month, Darren and Angela will be at a convention together for the first time. So the last thing will be the trifecta of all 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Angela says that she wouldn't be able to make it, but sounds like a great convention idea that she will look into. But it is after 10, so we need to call it a night. Thank you to everybody for tuning in on this impromptu Monday night chat where we just kind of last minute I decided, let's do a live show. And
Yep, especially given that I got home late last night and Doug was working on the railroad, so there was no show.
And I was dead.
And Darren was dead again.
Darren told me he literally was sleeping till he woke up at like 10, didn't see your message till after 10 p.m. So until this Sunday, I'm on the extra list this week. I don't know if I will be working Sunday night or not, so I can't say for 100% that I'll be around. Angela will be at PAX, so I don't know if she will have the energy to do a show.
I will be here. I will be exhausted, and if it is, and it will, and if left to my own overtired rambling tendencies, it will probably just be talking about things I did at PAX.
Which a PAX review show could be actually a lot of fun. So stay tuned for Sunday night when Darren and Angela talk PAX. I could be here as well. You never know. If not, I will try to do another midweek show just because I love coming on and chatting with you guys. You guys in the chat are awesome. The people who tune in every week really, really appreciate the love and support that you show us. And
absolutely 100% agree. I mean, the community sense, the fact that our listeners, viewers all interact with each other and share opinions on media and content, it just makes me so happy.
And the fact that you feel safe enough to put controversial opinions out there and know that we're not going to ridicule you or anything like that. It really means a lot to us because I know there's a lot of people that are afraid to voice opinions of saying something against a very popular show with a toxic fan base. We try to be a safe space for all.
Except My Hero.
My Hero's not terrible.
Just overrated like a lot of shows.
And I have never argued at that point.
And I've never said like the shows I call overrated. I've never said that they were bad. Just so people are clear on that. I've just said overrated, and I agree that isekai is trash. But I call myself isekai trash.
And we give each other a hard time with all due love and respect as friends.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But until next week, I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe week out there. Stay happy. Keep enjoying what you enjoy, whether it's the anime, the manga, music, whatever.
Sports or lack thereof.
Food. Enjoy good food. Since I can't because it's week time and I have to track everything.
Just do something, whatever it is that makes you happy because life is too short.
Exactly. Until next week, have a wonderful week, like I said. And is that true? Oh yeah.
Yes, it is.
Sunday is Mother's Day. Okay.
Hence, we'll do a shout out next week.
So until Sunday, everybody have a good night, and we will see you again here for more Anime-Zing Radio on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.